सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। In our Hindu tradition, in our Sanatana Dharma, can you exactly tell me how many gods do we have?
Completion 33 copies. Everything is God. Everybody in water.
33 crores. No, that's what he said. I'm just repeating the answer. 33 koti is koti, there is variety, not crores. Koti also means variety, not crores. So 33 कोटि जब बोलते हैं तो 33 वैरायटी के हैं। संस्कृत का है। The answer is we have one God. Created enough confusion? No. I did not create the confusion. I just created the environment for the confusion to express. So how many gods do we have? There is one supreme God, and we call that, we recognize that, the scriptures recognize that as Paramatma. Paramatma, Parabrahma. So these are all his names. Brahman, these are all his names. That one Paramatma at the same time can express in multiple forms. Like you are the same, but you, with relation to whom you are interacting with, you change. Like for example, you are driving a car, you become a driver. You are playing a flute, you become a flautist. You are playing a piano, you are cooking, so you become a cooker. And that cooker which is always under pressure. So you are the pressure cooker. You become the chef. So you are one, but you take multiple roles. What you are interacting with makes you that particular role. Supposing you are with your father, what do you become? The child. When you are with your sibling, brother or sister. When you are with your spouse, the victim, husband or wife. Nicely today we have almost all pairs sitting. Though you are the same, you tend to become that many. You tend to support that many roles. Is that okay? Similarly, Paramatma is one. But when that Paramatma takes multiple roles, we tend to call that Paramatma with different names. A very simple concept. So when he takes the role of creation, he becomes Brahmaji, the creator. He is a quad processor. He has 4 heads. So he is Brahmaji, the creator. That which is created has to be sustained and maintained. So when that Paramatma takes that sustenance role, maintenance role, he becomes Lakshmipati, Vishnu, Bhagavan Vishnu. When he takes I call that as a recycling, because destruction is a very destructive word, so I tend to use the word recycling. Technically, matter and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only find metamorphosis, change. So the transformer, he transforms the material, recycles it. Then we call him Shiva or Rudra. It is the same Paramatma. And once the creation is created, in order to seamlessly sustain and maintain it, he takes the other roles as well. To clean, purify and to provide sustenance through the life breath, he becomes Pavana. The same sustenance is given through water, he becomes Varuna. The same sustenance is to be taken care through the constant heat and light. He becomes Surya. And he can be invoked, whether it be in the lamp or the Havana Kunda or in your kitchen, through fire. He is called Agni Deva. Various forms and formats that he can take. Of these, the maintenance in charge. Who is the maintenance in charge? Mr. Vishnu. So Bhagavan Vishnu, in order to maintain his creation, off and on, he keeps coming into this creation at his own will, to put it back into restored condition. And that which we call as the avatara, the incarnation of that Lord. And these avatars are not limited by 10. For millions of years we have seen the Kali Yuga, then the Dwapara, Treta and the Krita or Satya Yuga. We have seen how much it does it come total to? 4.32 million or billion? Million years. So 4.32 million years. So for these many million years, the time keeps changing. Just having 10 avatars seems to be quite a stingy expression, miserly expression. And Bhagavatam reveals that there are not just 10 avatars, there are multiple avatars. There is almost a count of about 50-60 plus avatars, of which we take the 10 main important ones. That doesn't mean that there are only 10 avatars. They are the main ones. So you understand the entire system, right? Now the Creator created this creation. It sounded mouthful even for me. Brahmaji created this beautiful world. And how did this creation come about? As the extension of that Paramatma, and an expression of that Paramatma is this Prapancha, is this beautiful world. Meaning, even the material cause, the intelligence cause, and the efficient cause, all three of them are that Paramatma in expression, which is the world. Having created the world, those creatures that are existing, relishing that creation, who are we? We are also that Paramatma expressing, yet to realize that we are Paramatma. So often when people ask me, is Hinduism monotheistic or polytheistic? So they have only two options. So I tell them the third option. The third option is the monotheistic principle called Paramatma expresses in polytheistic God forms as Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Indra, Varuna, Agni, various forms that he expresses in. So he is one Paramatma but expresses in multiple forms. Is that concept getting clear? Now, where is that Paramatma? That will be a very small place if it is to be limited only in my heart. He is all pervading. He is everywhere. Is all pervading. Now another analogy, another example that can be taken is, where is the government? US government, where is it? Washington State, Washington DC, Washington DC. Now if you observe what is in Washington DC, are the government offices, main branches offices. But wherever is the land of, claimed as US, government can be invoked in multiple various formats because government is pervasive to the extent of US land. If you have an issue with say the health, so you invoke the health department, government through the health department. If you want justice, you invoke the government through the justice department. You want protection, you will invoke that same very government through the cops. Anywhere across this land, to invoke that government and its help, all that you have to do is push in 3 digits. 911. And the government is at your service. Anywhere. So government is not just in Washington DC, but it is all pervasive and can be invoked in multiple forms. Just because it is being invoked in multiple forms, does the government become many? If you go into the finer details, there are so many kinds. There is federal government, then there is state government, then there is the city government. The state is what? Governor, right? The city is mayor. So you have a mayor, you have a governor, you have a president. The various forms that the government expresses, but all are under the bind of one ruling. Similarly, there is one Paramatma, can be invoked in multiple forms. Why am I emphasizing so much on this principle? Because the next shloka is often misread, misinterpreted, because there are those who worship Bhagavan Vishnu quite with a staunchness and fanatism. They are called the Vaishnava. The Vaishnavites, the Vaishnava people. There are certain words in the Vishnu Sahasranama, they refuse to accept it as a part of Vishnu Sahasranama, they have alternate words for it. There is one particular shloka wherein Rudro Bahushira Babrur Vishwa Yonis Shuchishravaha. There Bhagavan Vishnu is invoked as Rudra. They change the word there. Why? How can my Vishnu be comparable to that Shiva? Who is Shiva? Shiva is, literally this is how they speak, that dirty fellow who lives in Smashana, who does not have any sense of cleanliness or shuchi and sanctity. For the makeup that he wears ashes from the burnt bodies. Bhasma Vibhushita. And look at our Vishnu. Sarva Alankara Bhushita. Such beautifully decorated. Such handsome. He even does his manicure, pedicure. I'm just extending poking fun at the thing. He's very well groomed. So there is a lot of clash between these people. And they say, how can our Vishnu be even compared to that Shiva? Chi, 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 chi. Do you think people are worshipping Shiva? They don't give up either. They are also fanatics. In South, in Tamil Nadu, there are Veera Shaiva, Veera Vaishnava. And they are at each other's throat. Yeah. Once I went to Vrindavan, I think I've shared this story with you. Once I went to Vrindavan, and the shopkeeper, this was my first time, the shopkeeper refused to do business with me. Because I was having Vibhuti Rekha on my forehead, and I said, yes, Shaiva. I am not selling my Krishna or anything to do with Krishna to this fellow. It took me a while. I stood there for 10-15 minutes, didn't understand what was happening. What do you call this? Profiling? Religious profiling. Intra-religious profiling, thank you. We don't serve the Shaiva, we serve only the Vaishnava. And you go to the Shaiva places, Vaishnava are ridiculed. Baba Shiva and Vaishnava, they don't have any problem amongst each other.
He married their sister.
They don't have any problem. Shiva's Ishta mantra that he gives to Parvati, which will come in the end of the Phalashruti, he says, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. Chant this one shloka. And who is the Ishta Deva of Bhagavan Shiva that he meditates on dearly? Is Bhagavan Rama. And who is the Ishta Deva of Bhagavan Rama? Is Shiva. In fact, while doing my research on Rudra, Lord Krishna's Ishta Deva was also Shiva. His daily morning puja, upasana, was to perform the puja for Abhisheka for Lord Shiva. They don't have an issue. Why do the devotees create such a big issue? Because they don't understand the concept behind that there is one Paramatma who is expressing as Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Another concept, while we are in that zone of understanding the concept, predominantly we have 5 main stream of worshippers, intra-religious. Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakta. Shaiva are the worshippers of Shiva. Vaishnava, worshippers of Vishnu. Shakta, worshippers of Devi or Shakti. Then Saurya, those who worship Surya. Ganapatya, those who worship Ganeshji. 5 main streams. This is called Panchayatana. 5 main streams of puja or worshipping. Like in Vedanta, we say that Supreme is Paramatma, Parabrahma. Vaishnava call that Supreme as Shriman Narayana. That Narayana who is the basis for Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Well, nomenclature I am not that big on, whatever you call. What is that scientist who did not find a name for the race that he invented and kept it X and it became famous as X-rays? The X-rays which scan your bones and everything. No, not Roger. So you can name him X, I don't mind. The Vedantins call him Paramatma, Parabrahma, Advaita Vedanta. The Vaishnava call that Parabrahma, Paramatma as Narayana or Sriman Narayana. So what is the difference, technical difference between Narayana and Vishnu? Narayana, when he takes the role of maintenance, he becomes Vishnu. Do you see the difference? Now similarly, those who are Shaiva, they call Paramatma or Parabrahma as Sadashiva. So Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Sadashiva is Paramatma. And that Sadashiva takes the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. They are talking the same thing. But what you call, it becomes such a prominence that they start fighting on that. Shakta, what do they call that Paramatma as? Adi Parashakti. That Paramatma is called as Adi Parashakti. And that Adi Parashakti takes the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara and the various other forms in this creation. Then comes Ganapatya. What do they call that Paramatma as? Recognize the Paramatma as Mahaganapati or Mahaganesha. Saurya, they recognize Paramatma as Surya Narayana. What they are talking about is the same essence, same tattva. It is almost childish, like when the child comes home thinking that, every child thinks that my parents are dumb, they know nothing, and they come and show off. And you should see the first time they pull this prank on the parents. Mom, can you get me some H2O? Thinking that mom doesn't understand what H2O means. You are coughing, so don't take it from the refrigerator, take it from the kettle because it is warm. He's like, oh boy, you know that? Whether you call it H2O or Jal, Pani, Vellam, Tanni, Neelu, Neeru, Aqua. What's it? Maji. Oh, Swahili. Okay. Thank you. I learned a new word. Maji. They all mean nothing but that water. Now, if they were to fight, that water should only be called this. How does it matter? H2O is greater than aqua. Huh? You're talking the same thing. Are you getting the point? So don't get lost in the unnecessary trivialities. And then once it comes down, almost every temple you will find this. South India, North India. God is neither south nor north. He is everywhere. He is all pervading. So whenever they come with the usual thing is to have black marble or no black granite statue or marble statue. Neither. Get Panchaloha. So when they come for advice, this is what I tell them. Neither. Go for Panchaloha. God can be invoked and worshipped in multiple various ways, and we get caught up in these things. So if that Paramatma is the one expressing through everything, he is the one who is expressing as Skandaha. Skanda, Lord Kartikeya. See, most of Lord Shiva and his stories are very much on planet Earth. Where does he live? Kailash. He lives on Kailash Parvata. Where was this Skanda born? Kartikeya born? He was born in that ranges of Himalayas, which are today known as the Kumaon ranges. And the reason it became the Apabhramsha of Kumara. Kumara was born there. Kumara meaning the sun. The other one was not born. He was created. But the first one born to Shiva and Parvati were in that ranges, and therefore those ranges were called. Now, do you know that in Hanuman Chalisa, when you are chanting, we call him as Bajrang Bali? Do you know what is the origin of that word Bajrang Bali? Vajra Anga Bala. That whose sharira or body, Anga, is as strong as or stronger than Vajra, diamond. Therefore, he is called Bajrang Bali. But to say Vajra Anga Bali, it sounds like a mouthful. So in the local native dialects, they smoothen it down. Like even here, we say, what do you say, or what you may call it. So what you may call it becomes what you may call it. What? What is happening became what's happening. What's happening became what's up. What's up became sup. And it has to come with that movement of the head. The neck and the shoulders should not move, just the head should move. Sup. Sup. So when you go to the origin of it, it was like what is happening has become sup. Similarly, Kumara becomes Kumau. The roughness of Ra is removed and becomes Kumau. And then he applied for a permanent residency in South. Like Krishna applied in Gujarat, Kumara Swami or Kartikeya applied it in South and settled in South. That's why you don't find any temple actually in north of Kartikeya, because he became a permanent resident of South. Yeah, citizenship and permanent residence. He is no more alien for South. So Skanda, who is he? Skanda, the one who has amazing shoulders, that he can take responsibility of protecting the entire Devatas. So he is the commander-in-chief of the army of Devatas. See, even the Devatas need protection. Not just the Manushya, even the Devatas need protection. Those who are trying to protect also need protection. And who is it that is expressing as that Skanda to protect? Who is expressing as that Kartikeya to protect them? Is that Paramatma alone. Therefore, he is Skanda. He is not just Skanda, he is Skanda Dhara. The father of Skanda also is that Paramatma alone. Now, who is the father of Skanda? Skand ke bapu is Bhagavan Shiva. So these two words, many of the Vaishnava don't even explain. They just skip. Bhishma must have missed two names, and therefore he inserted these two. Skandaha, Skandadharaha. And because Skanda job is to protect the dharma through the devatas, therefore Skandadhara means the protector of dharma. Skandaha, Skandadharaha. Dhuryaha. Dhuryaha, the one who carries samasta bhuta janmadi lakshanam iti dhuryaha. The one who ably carries the entire creation and its support on his shoulders. And who is the one who is carrying the entire prapancha on his shoulders and supporting it? Is that Paramatma. We get hypertension, high BP, right? Hypertension, migraines, heart attacks, you go bald, and all these symptoms when they happen, we look at our family members and say, this is all because of taking care of you. Have you ever said that statement, or have you heard that statement? Either or. You may have used it also. May. You know, when men especially lose their hair and say, it was all because of, why do you think it? And in a family, how many people are there? Typically today's family. 4 people. At the most, if extended, how many more? 6 more. I mean, total 6. Not 6 more. I mean, our parents or their parents were quite great managers, because they lived with what? 10-12 kids, and within one roof there will be like 4 or 5 brothers sharing that roof, each having about 10-12 kids. So you have about 40-50 kids under one roof, about 4 or 5 families. They also might have 6-7 families, and then their parents, all of them living under one roof. They're called joint family, right? We don't have that. Ours is a nucleus family, wherein we have 3.5-4 people per family on an average. And we get tensed up. Why? Such a pressure. Dhuryaha, the one who takes care of everybody without being under pressure. Meaning effortlessly takes care of everybody. We get tensed with having to take care of 4 people per family. See, in all our Devi groups, one discussion is a pet peeve of mine, and the Devis become very defensive the moment I bring that topic. I know today also majority is that only, but I am taking the risk of speaking about it. See, all the effort put is to have at least one decent meal, right? Now, how many people do you have to cook for?
1.
Yeah, you have only 1. That also sometimes is very boring to cook only for 1. I know it because I have to cook only for 1. I cook for myself. So you have to cook for 4 people. Earn so much and not have healthy food. Not have anything to eat. Breakfast, dog food. Cereal. And sometimes that also is not eaten, it is on the dashboard. Pathetic. In the afternoon, health conscious, eat some ghas phoos. Salad. Rabbit food. Okay. And then in night, that which is cooked, dated in the refrigerator 1 week ago, the roti dough is already made, or nowadays even that is gone. The rotis are purchased, and you have 2-3 kinds of sabjis, and every day you take a little out, warm it up, and then feed. And all this done for survival, and when you have in plenty, you still can't survive properly. Literally speaking, for cooking for 4 people, how much time does it take? Cooking, cutting, cleaning.
It depends.
Now, I'm not talking of a festive meal here, regular meal. About 40 minutes. If you efficiently plan things, 40 minutes, not more. And I bring this topic, the people can't spend 40 minutes in the morning and evening for a fresh meal and get tensed up. So much of cooking. At least cooking takes a lot of effort. What is more hilarious is, Swamiji, I have a lot of things to take care this weekend. I am not coming for the satsang because laundry. What are you doing? You are opening one lid, throwing all of them inside, shutting it up. Done. In comparison to back in India. Nothing of that. All that you have to do is, and after the dump is done, pick the entire thing and dump it in another one. And if you are diligent enough, as soon as the wringer goes out, take the clothes and immediately fold it. No wrinkles. No, laundry karna hai. Hi. And if you look at the majority of our life, not much of a issue. And that can bring us in under pressure and tension. I said to run a family is not a... Now I look at it from Paramatma standpoint. How many are we today? Just the most useless variety of species that he has created are about 7 billion plus. 7 billion, right? 7 billion plus. I'm talking of the human beings. There are other creatures and beings as well. He seamlessly balances everything out. The one who shoulders all these responsibilities without any pressure or tension. Therefore, you look at our Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. What are they doing? They are constantly in yoga. Brahmaji is meditating. Vishnu is in... Is that how you dancers do it? And Bhagavan Shiva is always in meditation. Even in their yoga nidra, things can be done. That seamlessly they are maintaining it. Dhuryaha. Therefore, it reminds me that Guruji's statement again and again. This week especially, that thought has been running very powerful in my head. Don't tell your God how big the problem is. Tell your problem how great and big your God is. What an amazing way to look at it. For everything we run into Bhagwan. What does this mean? Stop. I've been hearing this all life through. Will you change at least now? All of them. Multiple reinforcement. See? Stop. And this, grow up. Dhuryaha, the one who shoulders all these responsibilities without succumbing to the pressure like we do. And that's what makes him Paramatma. That's what makes him Ishvara or God. So don't pull him to our level for comparison. He is way beyond comparison. He is the one who takes care of it seamlessly and effortlessly. Skanda skandadharo dhuryo varado vayuvahanaha. Varadaha. That's also a very beautiful name. If any of your kith and kin and they search for a name, Varada. What does Varada mean? Vara, a boon. The one who gives, the one who bestows upon the seeker or the devotee, varam, the boon, is given. Now our God is amazing. Why? He gives us everything even before we can demand it. Even before we can ask for it, He has already provided for it. And we still come in front of the Lord asking. That is only our craving to have more. I give you another standpoint. When you send your children for, what do you call them? They go on field trips. Thank you. They go on field trips. So usually it's already paid for. Right? But still, as a parent sending them, do you not make sure that over and above everything that is paid for, you give them a fallback cash or a card? Then you stuff their bags with snacks and cookies and snacks, food to eat. And if that also fails, there is a plan B, plan C, plan D. You write it down to them and say, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. Don't you take care of? If we as mortals take care of our children with this kind of detail, without neglecting, do you think Paramatma from his standpoint would neglect any one of us? He gives the boon, but He gives it even before you ask for it. That is His graciousness. That is His benevolence. What can your God give? My God is so great that I don't need to stand in a line for Him to give. He has already given. Everything that is needed by us, He has already provided for us. We don't even need to worry about. All the worry is because we don't have confidence in His way of nurturing us. It is like somebody went into the airplane for the first time. So he got in, and the lady there announces, buckle up, put your tray away, stow your tray away, and then straighten your seat, as if it was like a huge difference. But still, straighten your okay. Stow your luggage, heavier ones on the top, and the lighter ones on the top and the heavier ones under the whatever is the system. So this fellow who was going for the first time was still holding on to his piece of luggage in his lap. And this lady says, put it up. So he looks at her, and she just gives that instruction and she leaves. So there are like hardly few people to take care of the entire batch of the flight. So she goes thinking that this fellow will listen to it and do the needful. Doesn't. He's still holding on to it. So the moment you don't listen to the instruction, they think that you don't understand the language. So they start speaking loud and speaking it animatedly. Luggage up! He still clings onto it more dearly and says, no. Finally he says, you English speak? I can speak English. Then put it up. No. Why? If I put it up, it will become an extra burden on the flight. No, who is carrying you? And the luggage in your lap? The flight is already doing it. All that you have to do is put that baggage away. Sit back, relax, enjoy life. We need to carry that burden on our head. And then gain sympathy. Do you know how much burden I am carrying? About 2 years ago, or 2.5, 3 years ago, I almost felt like Guruji put me on a path which was like 40 miles per hour and there's no brake there, and constantly running. I'll compare to the earlier part of my stay here. So one day when I met Guruji after a long time, he said, how are you? So I asked him, where are the brakes for the system that you have put me on? It's going on and on and on. Where is the brake? So he looked at me and said, you are talking to the wrong person. Because Gurudev has put me on this, and I'm not searching for brakes either. He's already carrying it. All that you have to do is drop the attitude as if you are doing it. Allow him do it through you. And believe me when I say this, that when you really remove that doership away, you will see things happening through you. If the amount of satisfaction that you get at your accomplishments by your doership is X factor, X amount, however you calculate it, the amount of satisfaction, the amount of adrenaline rush and the kick and the everything put together, you feel such content after doing a certain accomplished job. If it is X, by allowing it happen through you, The amount of satisfaction is x times x. It's that uncountable. That is the amount of satisfaction it is. And do you carry that pressure? No, you will not. It will happen through you. He has provided that for already. That is the kind of boon, that is the kind of blessing that the God, that Lord has provided for each one of us already. But we are quite sloppy in our existence. We tend to mismanage our lives very effectively. And even in spite of that, when you come running to Him, He says, okay Baba, I'll send some support and help. And then we have the audacity to ask, where is grace of Lord? The voice that you have at this moment to ask that question is the expression of grace of Lord. We take it for granted. We don't even realize it. Varadaha, the most benevolent one out there. More than parents, more than mother, more than father. He is, that is why called a comprehensive package of mother, father, brother, all relations put together in one. That is God. Skanda skandadaro dhuryo varado vayuvahanaha. Vayuvahanaha. The entire atmosphere inside and outside is regulated through the air. And these air, I call it these because they are classified into 7 categories. And there is a further sub-classification of 7 multiplying with the 7, and there are 49 subcategories. They are called the Marudgana. There is a very interesting story for that. But the 7 are the most important one. Gurudev has mentioned it in his commentary footnote. Avahana, Pravahana, Vivahana, Paramavahana, Udvahana, Samvahana, Parivahana. With these 7 kinds of air sheets, the entire environment, entire balance is constantly maintained without any turbulence or disturbance. Do you know the amount of crazy pollution that we create? When you take off in a flight, you can see the pollution down. Have you ever seen that? Delhi. You can literally see that smog layer. LA. When you land in and take off of LA, you can see that. There is just one kind of pollution. So many kinds. He has to constantly put everything back into balance. And he does through this Saptavahana. Saptavahana, the 7 air sheets with which he maintains that balance in the entire atmosphere. Skando skandadharo dhuryo varado vayuvahanaha. Vasudevaha. Vasudevaha, there are lots of interpretations of Vasudeva. The one meaning is son of Devaki and Vasudeva. So the son usually gets the father's name with an extension of dirgha of the first vowel. So Vasudeva, his son becomes Vasudeva. His son becomes Dasharathi. Janaka's daughter Janaki. So one simple meaning of Vasudeva is son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Second meaning of Vasudeva is Vasanat Vasudevasya. This comes in the Phalashruti. And in the Udyoga Parva, Bhagavan himself says, Vasanat Sarva Bhutanam Vasutvat Devayonitaha Vasudevaha Tato Gneyaha Yogibihi Tattvadarshibhi. Therefore, I am called Vasudeva. Got it? Vasanat Sarva Bhutanam. Vasa is to abide, to live. Vasa means to live. Vasanat Sarva Bhutanam. Sarva Bhutanam, in all creatures, beings, I live, I abide. Thus thereby enlivening the entire creation. Therefore, I am the Vasudeva. Because of whose presence and existence, everything seems enlivened. That conscious principle is called Vasudeva. Vasanat Sarva Bhutanam Vasutvat Devayonibihi Devayonitaha. Vasutvat Devayoni. And it is by this conscious principle and the direction given by that conscious principle that all the devas perform their duties constantly, day in and day out. Air has to purify, water has to satiate, the sun has to shine. Poor fellow has no vacation, no break, and he is literally burning out. He is the only one probably he can say, I am burnt out. He cannot say that, no, I don't think I'll get, because today is Sunday. Sun's day. I have the right to be late because it is my day. He has to do his job day in and day out, thankless job. Nobody recognizes, nobody appreciates. And the best part is, nobody makes use of it, best part. I keep asking many times, how many of you get the opportunity to see the sunrise every day? Nobody? Okay, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5. And if you have constantly been observing, every day it's a new panoramic view. It's as if sketched, etched in the atmosphere, personalized for each one of us. See, when you do something beautiful for the people that you love, I am touching a very raw aspect here, so bear with me. You as a parent, you as it is your responsibility to upbring and take care of them. And you, out of love, you do something really out of the way spectacular for the ones that you love. Wife for husband, husband for wife, parents for children. You do something spectacular. And the one for whom you intended to make whatever you have made does not even take a note of that which you have made for them. You, the one who has made it, how do you feel? Have I put the situation properly in your understanding? So you, the one who has created it, how would you feel? I'm waiting for the dejected, disappointed, neglected. Because you are bringing your best. And let alone of thanking or even recognizing it, it is not even being used or not even being, acknowledged. You feel so let down. What the heck am I doing with these people? They don't even care for it. Why should I even? But look at the Spirit. He comes again the next day with even beautiful, spectacular opening. Every day. The one who ordains all these gods to function meticulously, bringing the best of the best for the entire creation. Vasutvat devayonitaha ityapi vasudevaha tatah gneyaha. Understand the reason why I have been named as Vasudeva. There's another shloka which Bhagavan himself says, Chadayami jagat vishvam bhutva surya ivam shubhihi sarva bhutadivasascha vasudevaha tataha smritam. This is the same meaning as what I explained earlier. So Vasudeva means that one because of whose presence, whose abidance, whose living in this structure, the structure seems enlivened. That is called Vasudeva. Skanda skandadaro duryo varado vayuvahanaha Vasudevaha Brihad Bhanuhu. Brihad Bhanuhu. One Bhanu we see. Bhanu means sun, Surya. Brihad Bhanu, that one who is the fuel for that Surya as well. So at least my belief is we don't need to worry about the sun to exhaust of its natural abundance. Why? Brihad Bhanu, who is the one who is supplying that Surya to glow in the center of this Milky Way, is that Paramatma. To take care of us is his job. And so far, hasn't he taken a good job at it? We have more than bare minimum. In fact, in this country, I should say we have exuberance of abundance, not knowing what to do with what we have. Isn't it? I'm not exaggerating, right? We have plenty, more than plenty. Brihad Bhanu, the one who takes care. All that we need to develop is that faith that he is already doing his job. We don't need to remind him, God, do your job better. So whenever I stand in front of the Lord, The only reason why the puja or anything is done is Vishnoho Prityartham. Mama Aradhya Devata Prityartham. Prityartham, for the pleasure of my God, and to be connected with that form is what I am performing the puja. Is there any other reason? No expressed or hidden reasons. No hidden agenda. Otherwise, you will see that a Pandit will ask you to say, and you will also say. They'll make sure that that particular paragraph or 4 lines you repeat, so that their worth performing the puja for you or through you is understood clearly by you. Dhana, Vastu, Vahana, Kanaka, Ityadi, Praptyartham. And during the Sankalpa, this is what they say. Ayuhu, Arogya, Aishwarya, Abhivruddhyartham. It almost feels like, Lord, you are not doing your job great. I still have these demands. You better be fulfilling them. If your child comes to you and says the same statement, how do you take it? Mom, Dad, you're being sloppy. You don't know how to take care of me. These are the areas you better take care, better. As quickly as possible. What do you feel like doing? That's called a top spin in my language. He allows us to come went and does not top spin us. Isn't that His grace? To be God is not easy, Baba. Especially if you put a human being up there to take care of his job, you would be committing suicide. Not because of the pressure of work, because of the disappointment. I give so much and I do so much, but still you have such demands and you cry foul. This is because we have our doership involved. He does it with a smile. Because He is the one who provides, not just for us, but even for that sun to shine there. He is the source, He is the fuel for that sun to shine there. Brihad Bhanuhu. Adidevaha Purandaraha. Adidevaha. Adideva, as I said, Paramatma is often recognized with various words, and He is that consciousness which expresses forth as all these devas and this creation. That primordial cause for everything is called Adideva. Like they say Adi Parashakti, right? Adi means right from beginning. That is this Paramatma. Adidevaha. Purandaraha. Purandaraha, the one who destroys the 3 worlds. A similar name for Bhagavan Shiva is also there. He is called Tripurasura Samhara. See, the Tripura was destroyed by Bhagavan Shiva. Now what 3 worlds are we talking about? These 3 worlds never come in one line at any time, at any given point of time. While you are awake, you cannot be asleep. While you are asleep, you are not dreaming or awake. While you are dreaming, you are neither asleep nor awake. Tripura, 3 worlds of experiences. Purandaraha, the one who destroys all 3 by destroying the doership and enjoyership. If the ego is destroyed, then all the three worlds naturally get destroyed. If the Jivatva is killed, then where is the Prapancha? And the one who annihilates that final step for the seeker is called Purandaraha, the destroyer of three worlds of experience. So we have seen so far 335 names of the Lord. The 36th shloka is concluded. So next month we will have another opportunity to look through the Vishnu Sahasranam. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.